Okay, let's do our next part. So what I ask kids to do is, I ask kids, instead of me telling them what they're doing wrong, what I find is that we actually lecture kids way too much. Kids today are growing up much more visual than we are. We learned in a verbal world where people lectured us. Kids today don't focus that much. And I think kids going to school today, you know, they're born and their parents are doing baby Einstein with them, right? And then after that, they're doing, did you guys get this commercial in Illinois? My Baby Could Read?
Yes.
There was like a John Travolta, Look Who's Talking type thing or something like that. And then, what age can kids use a mouse? Two is what the research says. Move this, that moves there. So can you imagine, they come to school and they've been Baby Einstein, My Baby Could Read, they've used a mouse, and they come into school for the first time. That's got to be like the world's worst Charlie Brown episode of the century. Remember, because the adults are like, wah, 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 wah. Okay, and the kid's like, lady, you got a mouse I could click and move you on or something like that. The other thing they're used to is moving information at their own rate. This is important to think about because some kids experience difficulties in the classroom because you have to teach the average kid they already got it. So what I ask the kid to do is I ask them to draw their cycle. Now this is really cool. It gives them the perception of control. So I go, instead of me telling you what to do, why don't you show me what's going on? So here's what he goes. Goes to anger easily, gets made fun of, gets angry, goes after them with their anger, they get away, and he puts, I mope in my grief. This happens to be a 5th grader, because that's how you spell mope in Ohio. The kids that pass the proficiency, yeah. No, that's mope in Ohio, man. Check the Ohio proficiency. All right. So I said, what'll happen next? And then he draws the arrow and he says, I'm going to get angry and it's just going to keep going wrong. Now, here's the beauty of this intervention. I say to the kid, you're a smart kid, so rather than me telling you what to do, again, I'm giving them the perception of control. I go, why don't you draw for me how to get out of this cycle? Now, if you notice, too, a lot of oppositional kids like to doodle. They're drawers. So drawing tends to work for them. So here's what he does. He drew his way out of his cycle, gets in trouble, bites his nails, gets made fun of, has an idea, and tries it. Here's his answer. Beat the crap out of the other kid with a stick, then they won't do this anymore to you.
Well, that is an idea.
It is an idea. Now, if I go, now that's a bad idea, blah, 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 blah. Do I really need to tell this kid that?
No.
No. I go, okay, that's an option. You can beat the crap out of the other kid with a stick. What's going to happen? You can see he drew the arrow. I'm going to end up in trouble again. My cycle's going to go around. Now, I'm just getting him to visually see that. So he goes, oh, can I change this? So he starts scratching it out. You see where he scratched it out. Then he goes, can I do a different one? I go, sure, just go ahead and do a different one. Here's what he drew. Bite his nails, gets made fun of, ignores it, and then she ends up getting in trouble.
Much better.
Much better. Now, that answer came from him, which gives him the perception of control. Now, what happens is, here's what I do. Mom has him, dad has him, teacher has him. If he's starting to get upset, we clue him like this. That signal means you're starting to get into your cycle. Think about the way you plan to get out of it. Now, I could have 10 kids and give them each this secret signal. It means something different to each kid because they know how they plan to get out of their cycle. Okay, so it's a different way to do it. It's visual, better concept for a lot of these kids that are having those struggles. Now,